Hey, what's up? It's the Rock Show from Rowdy Alternative. It's in our podcast.
Yep. How you doing, Steph?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. Just chilling. This is the first interview ever, so this will be interesting.
No way. So you've only been the interviewer.
Yeah. I didn't know how to prepare for this, so I just didn't. So we'll see how it goes.
I feel like we're both podcasters. We can't shut the fuck up. You don't need to prepare because we like to
Right.
talk. Yeah,
Exactly.
but I will be honest. I like to be in control. I've been guesting just recently because it's a new podcast, so I'm not used to being the guest, and I've been a guest lately a lot, and it's kind of weird because normally I know what's happening, and I don't know where this is going. But by the way, I love your shirt. Can we all show your shirt? The greatest
Yep.
halftime Creed.
Yep.
Can you
Greatest
take me higher?
halftime
So, like,
show.
I was telling you, I was scrolling and I came across your page and I noticed some of my favorite other podcasters follow it. So I was like, okay, this is a good sign. And it's got some dark humor. It's got some rock and roll humor. What made you start the page? When did this start?
Okay, so Rowdy Alternative is like a branch off of Raised Rowdy, which that's based out of Nashville, Tennessee. Nick Tressler and Matt Burrill co-own it. It's primarily country music, and being out of Tennessee and everything. And basically what it is that it started up as just kind of like a group of friends. This was before I was even involved. And it got traction, started a blog, started hosting events. We have like, I think 3 or 4 events every week in Nashville.
Wow. I got to get
yeah.
out to Nashville, dude. I'm missing out. I'm all the way out in California, but Tennessee is more like my political route. And I've never been to Nashville, so I need to get out there.
It's sweet. I don't live there either. I live in Cincinnati, so it's about 4 hours away. So I just try to get down there as much as
Ohio,
I
that's
can.
where all the murderers are. That's where they keep people in basements for like 15 years. That's all I think about.
Yeah, luckily it's technically it's northern Kentucky, but it's right on the river. So I just say Cincinnati. It's like 10 minutes away. So when I don't have to claim Ohio, I don't. So I'm in a safe spot. So
okay. So how far is the drive to Nashville for you?
4 hours or so.
Oh, that's not bad.
Nah, not bad. I just came back a couple days ago. We had events and everything up there. It was fun. But what was I saying? Yeah,
so the guys started it. How did you meet the guys and kind of all come together?
Yeah, so I became close. I guess close. I don't know. I don't like saying that when it comes to artists because I don't know how they feel about it. You know what I mean? Yeah. I call him a friend now, but like Austin Mead. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So back in like 2018, 2019, I first saw him and like I kind of just kept going to his shows, got kind of cool with him and his band. And I love listening to podcasts. And
me too.
And at the time I was writing for a website called Sleaze Rocks. And that website, what they had me do is write retro reviews. So if there was an album, like if a Kiss album came out like 40 years ago today, I'd write a review on it and stuff. And I liked that. It was fun, but I also wanted to do more because I felt like I want to write about like new artists and stuff too. And I'm a rock guy. I've always been a rock guy, but I always, growing up where I did in Kentucky, like country music, I like too. So Austin, he's a lot more rock now, but at the time he was more in the country avenue. He definitely morphed as the years went on. He was interviewed on a podcast by Raised Rowdy, and I listened to it, and I liked the vibe. Nick was doing the interview with him, and I just emailed Nick, and I was like, hey, I write for this website, Sleaze Rocks. Can I write for you guys? And he did, and he basically just gave me like the reins, said, write about anything you want. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I got to like promote the guys I know from out in Texas, Oklahoma, and basically that's what I like to do. Like, it's not just lip service. Like, I honestly do love like helping out these guys and like promoting their music because a lot of them were smaller at the time, so they weren't really getting around as much. And anyway, fast forward a bit, I asked them if I could do a podcast, and they're like, yeah, go for it. And they like, got me with like the right equipment and everything. And they're like, well, what are you going to call it? I'm like, well, we're called Raised Rowdy, and I like the alternative stuff, like the rock stuff. And that's what I want to focus more on. So like, all right, Rowdy Alternative, we'll do that. So that's what the podcast name came from. And then I'm like, I'll just start an Instagram page too to go with it. And so I started the page. And at first I'd never made like memes or anything. And like I had
Because
no
you're
idea.
good at it. And there's some funny fucking memes.
I
I
appreciate
want
it.
my friends to check it out. That Creed one you just posted on the. I like that it's an umbrella bigger company than it is, and I didn't even know this is a side project from
Yeah.
the larger company. So what year did you start creating memes?
That's relatively new. I'd say probably like middle of last year. Cause when I first started the page, all I
Damn.
did, if like an artist put an album out or a song out, I just put a post up about it. And I had like maybe like 300 followers. And then I'm like,
Wow, you blew
yeah,
up.
I know. And then I was like, I might
Did you
get this.
suck some dick somewhere, like in higher ups? Because you're on fire.
I did not. I got very lucky.
Yeah.
I started making these memes, and the one that did it was it was so stupid, but it worked. It was Elvis, like a live footage of Elvis, and I just synced up Break Stuff by Limp Bizkit with it. And I just played the music over it. And the way Elvis was like moving on stage and like put the microphone up, it looked like he was actually kind of singing it. And
Yeah.
that one popped. That one went to like 7 million in a matter of day views. And Fred Durst shared
Wow.
it and everything. So that helped a lot.
No way. Fred Durst shared it. That's cool. I
Yes.
did one viral hit, and then that's how a lot of. So I'm interviewing musicians for the first time that got big on YouTube or TikTok, and they
Mhm.
just haven't even toured. They don't have an album, but they had one song blew up, and now they're massive, and they don't even have a CD. It's just wild to me because I'm old radio. So you had to
Yeah.
tour, you had to release an album, and now it's like, no, just fucking put a song out on the internet and it could blow up. But
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah.
What
And
was the next one that blew up or kind of like gave it
I'm trying.
traction?
Yeah. So I try to do 2 memes a day. And unless I have like a clip or something like that, I'll put that out from like one of my interviews. But I think most of my followers are there for the memes, to be honest with you, not the
Yeah.
podcast. But I'm
We
totally
want to
fine with it.
escape life and laugh. So like the
Yeah.
more ridiculous. Have you seen about John Breaks Bad News? You got to check it out. It's my new favorite. I just came across it like a month ago, but he's really popular. I'm just living under a rock. I just started a podcast, so I'm figuring out. But John Breaks Bad News, you can give him $1 or $2 on Venmo, and he'll call someone and give them bad news, like
Okay.
live, and then post it. And it's such a great idea, and it's just so it's escapism, right? Like we want to be out of our real jobs and our real world and laugh. So that's
Yeah.
what's cool about your page. It's really funny.
Yeah, that's funny. That's kind of like an old radio bit. They used to make like prank calls and all that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's been one of your favorite jokes or memes that you've made or posted?
My favorite. It's funny. A lot of my favorites are the ones that don't do dick. They just sit there and like they just
Yeah.
flop.
But you laughed at it. That's all
Yeah.
that matters.
And that's
Hard.
I try to like take that into consideration. Like, all right, I think this is hilarious. It's like, but
Yeah.
are other people gonna think it's hilarious? It's like they kind of have to have the same sense of humor as me. The things I try to do is keep it consistent with like the butt rock new metal genre, like Creed.
It's back, right?
Yeah,
Like you're
it's back.
like the butt rock, stripper dad rock, divorced dad
Yeah.
rock. And that's my favorite. That's the shit I grew up with. So I dig it.
Yeah, but like my favorite, man, that'd be the Elvis one. Obviously, is the one that blew up. That one was good. I think my number one right now, it's at like 17, 18 million views, is a guy getting arrested singing Pearl Jam to the cops, like as he's getting cuffed. And I think my caption was like girlfriend says, don't have too many beers tonight. And then it's like, oh, I won't. And then 2 hours later, and it was the video, something like that. If you could imagine that. But yeah.
Yeah. Have you
they're just
been there? Have you been arrested drinking too much?
No, I haven't been arrested, knock on wood, but
Yeah.
I have gotten into some shenanigans before, for sure. And
Yeah.
I just got
Yeah.
lucky.
I've been deep into the shenanigans, that's for sure. Well, that's cool. I know, like, my humor is highly sexual, so some people get it, some people don't. I just posted a clip before I popped on here. I asked POD's drummer if he got impregnated by Dave Grohl because I saw they hang out backstage a lot. And I think it's really funny, but watch, like, it gets like 300 views and nobody thinks it's funny. So, but all that matters is that you laugh when you're making the clip and you
Yeah.
post it.
Did he
And
get
it's
it?
well, he laughed. Zach, he thought it was funny. I'm just saying, like, you know how, like, I think, oh my God, this clip is so great. And then what you were saying too, sometimes it'll flop. And then
Mhm.
what's weirder is the shit that I don't think is that funny that does well, or the clips
Yeah.
that do well. That's what, so the clips that have been doing well for me are more the TikTok people. Like, it's the
Yeah.
young kids that are big on TikTok that they get shared and they get a lot of views that I don't know what's going on. I just made a TikTok, so I'm starting to figure this out. But that's what builds
Yeah.
up for me. So wait, I saw on your podcast page, it says you got blocked by Motley Crue. How did that happen?
Man, that was before I got blocked by Motley Crue personally, like my page, and
Yeah.
that was before I even started writing for Ray's Rowdy.
Who'd you piss off? How'd you do that?
It was just a simple comment. They that's when they announced their stadium tour, and like of course like COVID hit and all that, and they kept putting it off and putting it off, and it started to look more. I love Motley Crue, by the way. I love the music and everything, but
Yeah.
I think it's no secret that the guys involved are a little sketchy in many ways. And
Well, they just screwed over Mick, let's be honest. And I love
yeah,
John 5, but they're kind of screwing him out of profits. I mean, I think everyone's going where the money's at. And then Vince lost his voice, but they're still just
yeah,
going at it. So yeah,
yeah.
that's
But
common though.
yeah, it is. Especially there's like 80s legacy bands. And but it was I said something along the lines of like I think I just said like Nikki Sixx sucks or something like that.
That's
And
it. And that
that's
was
it.
enough for Motley Crue to be like blocked,
And
done.
in like a few days when I'm like, man, like I haven't seen like a post from like Motley Crue in a while, and I go back and it says like blocked or like not available or something.
That's
I'm like,
cool, dude. That's a
yeah,
claim to fame right
yeah,
there.
I guess
Do
so.
you
It's
have haters? Do you have people in your inbox saying negative things?
not the inbox, but the comments get. I love making like memes and videos that will draw controversy, like
Mhm.
between like fans. Like
Yeah.
I did one of like it was Ronnie Radke from Falling in Reverse, and obviously I don't know. Are you?
He's a hot topic. Oh yeah, no,
Yeah,
I love the rock industry, but yeah, if you talk about Ronnie and even and there Black Veil Brides is getting blacklisted because he's out on tour with them right now. So he's like a Manson right now. You kind of don't want to go too close to it or you're going to get
right.
controversy. But
Yes,
what'd you say about him or
it was a video of him like so in the video he was like I'm about to play the heaviest fucking song I've ever written and the crowd's going nuts. Then he was like met a girl and I really thought she liked me and it was just like it it was funny and my caption was like when people say like metal fans worship the devil or something like that. But the reason I chose that because that's kind of a weak like caption in my opinion, but it was like it's going to be funny because it's Ronnie Radke. And sure as shit, like the moment I put it, you got people like, oh, so you're promoting a murderer and like a this and that. And then you got people like, oh, he's not metal. He's not metal at all. And then you have all the Falling in Reverse fans hopping on, like defending it. And the whole time I'm just watching it like, this is funny. Like a lot of people say, don't read the comments. It's going to bum me out. But like, I love when I piss people off in the comments. It's so funny.
It's hard not to read the comments though. And like I'm at a better phase of accepting it now, but I will say so I just started getting a lot of haters a month ago. I was doing well. I was 4 months with no haters, but then I think when you get the haters that's a good sign cuz it's like
Mhm.
okay, I'm getting enough traction that people are starting to hate me and it's always females for me. They
Really?
like don't like me. They think I side with men or that I'm too sexual. And I'm just like, dude, stay in your lane. Keep going. Keep scrolling. I would never, I do. Okay. The only thing I like to do in comments is to start shit. Like
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen the David Spade and Dana Carvey. They have a podcast together and I really like it. But did a clip about condoms like yesterday. And I just put who uses condoms just because I knew it was going to start shit. And I don't like them. But everyone went nuts. Like, your dad after you were born, like you're gonna spread everything, all this shit. And I just liked and hearted like all of it because I knew it was gonna cause shit. But sometimes
Yeah.
you just gotta stir the pot because it's a
Yeah.
little boring, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. And it keeps
Um,
people
I
interested.
saw that you like Limp Bizkit. You said Fred reposted and you like Deftones. Is there other bands that are in like your fave?
Man, so I'd say my number one band is Limp Bizkit. Um, I love Creed. Like there's other like I listen to a whole bunch of genres. So like I love the Beatles. I love, like I said, Motley Crue, Leonard Skinner, but like Limp Bizkit, like I was a little
Yeah,
late. I was a little late to that party, to be honest with you. And
you're
like,
young, huh?
yeah, and
Yeah,
like
you're like late 20s, early 30s.
I'm 26.
Yeah, so I'm shocked that kinda used to Limp Bizkit, but also right now, Limp Bizkit, Korn, it's all coming back, like the new
Oh yeah,
metal, because that's what I grew up with in middle school and high school, and then it's funny that now the guys I date, you're a little too old for me, are like 20 to 25, and they like the same music I like, and I'm like,
yeah,
"Oh, cool. Grandma can take you to a show and show you the music that I like." So,
right.
what about movies? Is there, like, movies that you dig or that are staples?
Oh yeah. I'd say probably like next to music because music is like all I even focus on. Like even on accident, I just find myself thinking of music. But movies, I'm into as well. My favorite movie of all time is Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Um, like that's no contest. My favorite movie of all time. It's just the perfect length. It's like an hour and a half. You know, I don't need anything longer than an hour and a half before I just start to fall asleep. And it's just such a simple movie. Just a bunch of '70s high schoolers getting all boozed up and running around town and stuff. But
It's a great
yeah,
one. Lives before cell phones and before pagers that are now
yeah,
blowing people up. That was a simpler time.
I know.
Can you play fun question time?
Sure.
It's anything. Okay. Um, who has been the most difficult person to interview on your podcast?
Huh. They're not really difficult. Do you have the problem? I know I'm gonna ramble here. Do you have the
No, that's
problem
fine.
when you interview? They're not necessarily like hard to interview. They're just it's just kind of hard to get question or answers out of them, and it's
The
like
one word answers. I've dealt with that for 20 years. Like, I just am like, this is your band and your project that
yeah,
you know everything about. And I'm getting like, yes, no, okay. And I'm like, I don't want to take over this thing, but I'm gonna have to because you're literally just a stone wall. So that's rough. Yeah.
yeah. There's been a couple like that. Most of the time it goes great. I feel like I'm the one that's like not delivering well because I love the ones where they talk and talk and talk, and I don't have to say much. Like I love that. It just means
Me
you're
too.
into it. And like guys, like I think. Well, I interviewed Jarrett Reddick from Bowling for Soup, and that dude is killer. Like he's also done like a million interviews before, so he already knew kind of what he was coming into. But the hard ones are like the younger bands that are like
Mm.
even younger than me, like because they don't sometimes they don't have like any interviews under their belt, and they don't really know how to navigate it. I guess you know what I mean. There's like a few like that, but most of them go great. I think.
I feel younger. I had this band called Chain Saints. They're sweethearts. They got produced by Alice in Chains. It's a pretty cool connection. But their manager asked if they could come by, and I said, yeah. Well, they're 16 and 17. So I'm trying not to go on Dateline and have, Chris Hansen pop up and take me. So I'm like, okay, I gotta not be my silly, crazy sexual self. I need to tone it down. They're like seniors in high school, juniors. So I'm
Yep.
just trying to be like, how's the music? And they're all nervous in band class, like hee hee hee. And I'm just like, I don't know if I'm allowed to do people under 18 because that's just not my style. My style is like, I'm gonna say the most unhinged, unfiltered, craziest shit. And I don't know. Speaking of which, okay, next question. Your wildest sex story, or that you
Oh
can say.
boy, that I could say. Uh, my mom is definitely gonna listen to this.
Oh
So I'm
no.
gonna,
Okay.
yeah.
No,
So
no.
no, I'll
Then
just
you're
say,
a virgin. You're waiting till marriage.
that's right, that's right. We'll do
You've
that.
got a
I would
purity
say
ring
it
like the Jonas Brothers.
if my mom didn't know I was doing this, then I would tell you something.
Oh my
But I'm
God,
gonna,
no, we don't trust you do not want, yeah, your mom to know. Trust me. I'm a mom and I don't know what my sons are up to. I don't wanna.
no, you're
Okay,
fine.
we're switching it up. What is your favorite sport?
I gotta go football. I'm a big Bengals fan. I never played football though. I played baseball, but like as I got older, it's just like it's a lot more fun to watch these gigantic monsters just run into each other and beat the hell out of each other.
You
So
like
I'm going
watching
football.
gigantic dudes in tight pants just like
if,
run into each other?
if you want to put it that way, yeah.
I do too. I like sports. I like baseball has tight pants too. There's a lot of reason I like sports. Um, okay. Do you get involved in politics on or off your podcast at all?
No, I don't get involved
You stay away.
on the podcast. Yes, I asked Nick when I first started. I'm like, so what can we talk about on this? He said anything, just like he said like nothing that you shouldn't talk about that would get us in trouble. He's like, when politics comes up, if the guest wants to talk about politics, fucking let him go. but like he says, you probably shouldn't do that. Just
Yeah.
let the guest go with it. And there was a few times that like they got kind of going on it, and they were just like, man, go ahead. That's a clip right there I could use. It'll get some clicks.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a hot topic, but you don't want to get canceled if you're getting too deep. So I kind of stay away from it, but
Yeah.
off the podcast. Oh, do you have a favorite podcast?
You know what? Yes, I do. You know who Shane Gillis is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So he has one with his buddy Matt McCusker called Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast.
I haven't heard it though.
Oh my God. I literally, before I hopped on here, I had it on my phone, just chilling, watching it. Like, it's like some of the funniest. I feel like it'd be right up your alley too. Like, it's like not like, because I think Joe Rogan is kind of bland now. Like, all these other podcasts, they just get kind of boring to me. But like Matt and Shane, they just sit there and just like tell dick jokes the whole time. And it's just
I love that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You should check it out. It's really good.
Have you heard This Past Weekend with Theo Vaughn?
Oh, that's probably my second favorite. Yeah.
Yeah. I watch that religiously. And then the Tim Dillon podcast every Saturday. I just love, he rants and screams and he's nuts. You're right. Joe Rogan, I still like him, but he's getting off into geologists and history. And sometimes I'm in the mood for that, but sometimes I just want to laugh at fart jokes and ridiculousness. So I don't know. He's getting a little serious. Yeah. Okay. Chocolate or vanilla?
Vanilla. I'm going vanilla for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who is your dream podcast guest?
Fred Durst. Absolutely.
Yeah. We already shared a post of yours. Did you slide into the DMs too and be like,
the first time you shared it, I did. And then
did you send a dick pic to Fred Durst?
No, I was trying to reel him in. Not send him away.
Well, that's how women reel in.
Oh yeah.
Women don't send dick pics, but women, I want to reel in. I'll be like, I'm going to send something spicy. If no one can get the band on the old station, I sent something spicy and all of a sudden the band's like, yeah, we could come by. So it works.
Yeah. But it's funny with him because I sent him a DM. Obviously, this was like back when I was kind of still just starting the podcast. And I was just like, well, fuck it. Might as well, throw a DM out there. And of course, I don't get an answer or nothing. And then I put like 2 or 3 more times he shared my memes. And it just like, man, just check your message, dude. Like, I feel like obviously Fred Durst is like huge and like I'm just like a peon on his radar. But it's like, I feel like Fred Durst being the guy he is, like, I feel like he'd just be like, yeah, fuck it. I'll hop on for like 10 minutes. So maybe.
I think he totally, it's just getting that contact. I had a situation like that with Hinder. Hinder reposted a couple of my videos and they've commented on my videos. And if they just checked the DM of where they reposted the videos, I said, hey guys, you want to come by the podcast? And they, for some reason, missed that. And I'm just like, you guys, you know what? I'm about to just comment and do @Hinder. Do you want to come by the podcast? I think that's almost easier nowadays than the DMs for large artists.
It's funny you mentioned Hinder. I've had kind of that same deal with them. I emailed their like manager or whoever it was. And I think like 2 separate times I've tried to get them on and they would say, yeah, sure. Absolutely. We're totally down. Check back with us in June. I'm like, okay. I set a reminder in my phone even. Then I go, do it again. Like check back in like September. I'm like, all right. But they I put like a Hinder meme out and like they collabed on it. So it was like on their page and stuff. And it just like, come on guys, like throw me a bone here. But all love to Hinder. I love Hinder.
Me too. We got to get them on our podcast. That's funny because like I said, I did a reel that's kind of doing well and they commented on it. And so I pinned it, but they won't come by the show yet. I have this issue right now with CKY. I love Chad. He came by the show like 15 years ago in Hollywood. So I reached out and I said, hey, I have this new podcast. You want to come by? He said, yes, I totally would. But after September 12th. So I did what you did. I set the alarm in my phone, September 12th. Went off. I sent the new message like, hey, Chad, I know you're on tour. CKY and Alien Ant Farm are together. And I want you to come by and nothing. And I'm just like, what? He said after September 12th. So I hope I'm doing a Aftershock music festival in Sacramento. He'll be there. And I'm literally going to be that funny asshole and call him out when he walks by Media Tent. I'm going to be like, Chad, get over here in the chair now because you told me after September 12th and you didn't schedule. So I'm pulling him and he's sitting down to do the interview. So
nice. Let me ask you a question. So your radio background, what'd you all do? Because you said you were in radio, right?
Yeah, so I started in college at University of the Pacific in 2004 at KPAC, and then I got an internship at Playboy Radio that was just like changed my world in 2008, and that's how I met some comedians and some managers that kind of got me in the door to start my little YouTube channel. And I just started the YouTube channel to get free concert tickets and get backstage pretty much as a joke, and it got a little bit of traction. So I was like, oh shit, okay. And then I finally got a morning show back up in Northern California, 96.7 KMRQ. And so I did mornings for 2 years. And that was really, and I want to get back into it. I'm missing it. The kids are back in school full time now. So I want to get back in morning radio because that's where my like passion is and what I love to do.
Do you think like
You would do good at
nowadays?
it.
Yeah. So in college, or I didn't. Sorry, in high school, I wanted to go I wanted to go into broadcasting in Western Kentucky because I didn't know anything about
That's
radio.
where they fuck their cousins, though. Do you have a cousin there in Western Kentucky? Or
I did not. I did not. I think I would have
oh,
been the first Western Kentucky in my family, but I didn't go. But it was I don't know. Do you think like radio is kind of like on the downhill slope?
it's
Like,
dying. So that's the bummer, dude. So okay, we have a show, a morning show here, the River 93.7. They
mhm.
fired the guys that were really good. I love Dog and Joe, but I kind of got a little excited because this just happened a month ago, and I go, oh my god, I'm kind of back in the groove. So me and another buddy that used to be in station said we'll take over. Well, the issue now when iHeart got back to me is they don't know if they have the funds to hire a new morning crew and if they're even going to have a morning show, if they're just going to play music until the midday and let the midday, kid just stay there. So I
Mhm.
definitely know there's financial issues with radio. And obviously podcasting is where it's at. This is good. But like, as you know, like we have to just sit around and twiddle our thumbs. So someone's like, hey, we want to get you a studio and pay you a lot of money. And I'm on Podcorn and stuff like that, but I'm not going to take vitamins from China that I don't know what they are and talk about them. You know what I mean? Like a couple of these
Yeah.
companies hit me up. They're like, can you take an herbal supplement and drink on during and say that you have good skin? And I'm like, no. And it's like $15. Like I'll probably shit myself.
Yeah.
So I don't have any real offers or like real money. And I'll make on YouTube, I'll make $8 to $12 a month for views being monetized, which is hilarious. But that'll be like a parking pass to go see a show or to interview someone. So. But
Right.
I don't. I
Yeah.
think it's podcasts, dude. I think podcasts is where it's at.
Mhm.
Oh, do you have a dream grocery store chain?
Oh, well, out here we got Kroger. You mean like one specifically?
Do you have one that you're set on? Like you love to
Yeah,
grocery shop there?
it's
Yeah,
got to be Kroger. I don't know if they have
Kroger.
that out in California. Are you in
I
California?
don't. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Do you have HEB out there?
So when I was living in Texas, they had HEB, and that was pretty
Yeah,
sweet. Yeah.
I lived in Texas for a year in Austin, and I loved HEB. That was like they had sushi for free you could sample, and it was really cool.
Yeah, they had like all those crawdads or whatever, all in a big like crate and shit, and, like fresh and well, how fresh it could be in the middle of Texas, I don't know, but yeah, HEB's nice.
I went to a all-you-can-eat oyster festival in Texas, and I got really sick. I had to go to the hospital. Apparently, the Gulf is really hot, and you
Oh,
shouldn't go to an all-you-can-eat oyster festival. I lost some weight. I looked good, like that way, but I was not doing so good. I was like crawling on my hands and knees. So I'm gonna stick to California for my seafood.
right. You're probably in a
Yeah,
good spot for it then, out
yeah,
there.
it's great out here. It's fresh.
Yeah.
And then I have one more question for you. Like, what do you think of the Tiger King?
You just had him on, didn't you?
Yeah, well, he called me from jail. I wish I could have him on, but yeah. And it
D-
was so hard to hear. I need to figure out how to like connect a call like I used to through the station. I
Yeah,
have no, but yeah, I love him. I mean, I'm obsessed.
man. Like, so I do love it. I love the Tiger King. I that's how I got through COVID because that's when it came
Me
out, and
too.
I was just sitting around like this dude is a complete mess, but it's awesome.
Yeah. It
It's
makes
fun.
me feel like I have my shit together.
Yeah, funny thing about him is that like I think around like 2018, so before he was even, famous or anything, he followed me on Twitter. Joe Exotic followed me on
What? He
Twitter.
wanted to fuck you.
Probably.
No, he would no, you look like one of his hot husbands. He
Oh
wanted
no,
to fuck you.
a
And
hillbilly guy.
yes, he wanted to give you ecstasy, put you in his limo and marry you.
Because
But
that
did he slide in the DMs ever, or he went to
no.
jail right before he tried to hit it?
So yeah, so that's when he was running for like governor or whatever, and like I think he was just trying to like get some like I don't know, get himself out there or something. Like who's this whack
Yeah,
job? But
dude. I have his manager's email if it's not too late to start dating Joe Exotic while he's in jail.
I might just try to have him on the podcast. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go
We'll see
there.
where it goes from there. But
Yeah.
but
It'll be
hold
a
on.
while before you have to put out. He's in jail for like 18 more years. So you don't
Yeah,
have to worry about that.
was that hard to get that? Like that's the last person I would even think of like interviewing.
So this is funny. I wrote him in 2020, like right when Tiger King and we're stuck at home. I actually wrote him as a joke, like
Yeah.
he wrote back like 4 days later. I didn't even send a stamp, nothing, like a long ass letter. Like, thank you so much for writing. Like, I love you. So I don't know. It was always in the back of my mind, like, damn, I'd love to have him on a podcast. And then no, it wasn't hard at all. I hit them up. They said, "Can you give $15 for his, on his book so he could
Mhm.
call?" And I was like, "Yeah, for sure." So I gave $15 and he called. But like I said, the only thing I haven't figured out is how to hook a phone call up and like have it
Yeah.
come in more clear, or I need to get a Google like
Google Voice or
phone,
something. I don't
Google
know.
Voice. Yeah. And and like figure that out because with the station, it was so easy. Everything was set up for the call. So
Yeah.
I thought it would be more clear. And that's the only bar. It was really hard to hear him. And then he's in jail and he's moving around with the phone. And so, but I just honestly, it made my whole fucking year that I got to talk on the phone with Joe Exotic because I
Yeah.
wish I was a guy and he liked me. I mean, I would date him. It's that bad.
He was like the most
Apparently, he
famous
wanted you.
person ever. Yeah. Well, yeah, probably.
Yeah, yeah. Well, dude, thank you, Sam, so much for stopping by Steph's Rock Show. And everybody follow Rowdy Alternative, and I'll tag you and check it out because it's really funny. Keep doing what you're doing.
Hell yeah. Thanks, Steph, for having me on.
Of course.